Well, we talked extensively about this hearing that took place in the House of Representatives, and I want to do one more story that is related to that. So if you missed my coverage, there was another absurd Republican-led hearing late last night where they were trying to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress. And Marjorie Taylor Greene sent things off the rails. She kept interrupting. Then she was insulting the appearance of another congresswoman. That caused a reaction from that congresswoman. That caused everything. So if you have any rational bones in your body or brain cells in your brain, you would say, okay, a Republican-led hearing, a Republican majority, a Republican caused this to go out of control. Probably we should blame this on Republicans. Why it got so chaotic, right? We didn't see stuff like this when Democrats had a majority in the House of Representatives. Well, yeah, not everyone saw it that way. Here is a Fox News host who found a way to warp reality in such a way where, and I know what you're going to think I'm about to say, which is, oh, he's probably going to say they blamed it on Democrats for reacting to Marjorie Taylor Greene's insult. And because the Democrats levied some insult of their own, it's the Democrats' fault. Not even. They're not even trying to blame it on the House Democrats. Somehow this Fox News host that you can see there in the yellow, she blames President Joe Biden for last night's hearing. It makes no sense. And friend of the show and a man many of you adore, I know, David Pakman, often used the phrase brainworms, MAGA brainworms, he would say. And that came to my mind. You would have to have those sorts of brainworms to make this argument, but then I thought I shouldn't say that on the show. So I'm not going to say that today. I won't say it because brainworms have a different meaning now given recent events, if you know what I mean. So we'll avoid that. It got too real. So now I'll just say her brain must be actively crumbling. We'll word it that way as she makes this argument. Otherwise, I don't know how you can make such an argument. But I do think being a MAGA Fox host can sort of do that to you where it starts warping even the way that you see reality because you've had to spew so many lies about reality. So here it is. Goodness gracious.
Well, that's the thing. You know, this is supposed to be the most noble, the most sacred, or among them, serving and representing the people. If I want to see someone cussing out someone else, I walk outside my door. I live in New York City. I'm from the Bay.
I'm going to pause your viewing of this video super quickly to ask you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just click that subscribe button, and right next to it is the join button. So you can become a member to get the daily bonus show by clicking that join button. Back to the video.
Why shouldn't it be that the highest standard, the highest decorum exists in this most sacred building that they claim that was breached on January 6th in the most horrific and atrocious of crimes? Well, then represent the sacred and the sanctity that that building deserves. Honor that. I see this as a reflection of the complete erosion that our entire legislative body has become. You can wear what you want. You can say what you want. You can trash each other. You can drink. You can have sex on the dais. You can bring Coke into this entire thing has become an absolute devolved zoo, heightened under this administration that promised us on the way end there would be unity and a return to adulting. I am deeply disappointed. I want my money back every day. They do not earn my salary. They have not earned my respect. And displays like that, they're not even worth my time.
Yeah.
So, a few things. First of all, I think she listed a bunch of things that have happened since Republicans got the majority in the House and things that happened in the House. So that's Biden's fault somehow, even though we have a separation of powers, so he can't govern the House of Representatives. But everything's Biden's fault. I've said it before. A MAGA Republican stubs their toe is Biden's fault. Now, the other thing was, to just go back in her argument there, she starts, and again, I'm worried to even talk about this because I think it could negatively impact our critical thinking skill. As I'm struggling to get those words out, I'm seeing what I'm saying, which is that I don't think it's good to even engage with these arguments. I think it can make you have a tougher time functioning mentally. But she's saying that because Democrats correctly understand January 6th to be this horrible moment in American history where because of the lies of the President of the United States about our democracy, people tried to block the certification of the election violently. So that's horrible, and that disrespected our Capitol. And because of that, somehow she's trying to point out hypocrisy or something for Republicans, the one downplaying January 6th, to not respect the Capitol. But yes, that fits into the broader framework of them not having respect for these institutions, just like the lies about democracy that you helped to bolster, and just like these sorts of ridiculous hearings organized by Republicans, whether it be the Biden impeachment sham effort or this Merrick Garland trying to hold him in contempt of Congress for not giving over this audio recording of Biden's interview with Robert Hur. All of it's a part of this broader lack of respect and lack of a dedication to serious governance and serious policy making, and a lack of respect for our institutions. So she was framing her argument as if it's pointing out hypocrisy, while it was actually pointing out the very framework that these liberals you hate so much keep pointing out as the thing that is hurting our government, hurting our country, hurting these institutions' ability to function. And somehow she twisted around the facts of this event to blame President Joe Biden. Now, I'll remind her too, when Democrats had the majority in the House, this wasn't going on. Do you know what was going on? The Inflation Reduction Act, the American Rescue Plan, the Infrastructure Law, the PACT Act, the Chips and Science Act, the Gun Safety Bill. Things were getting done. Policies were being implemented. Do you know what's happened on policy in a major way since Republicans got the majority in the House? Nothing. That's what happened. And so that contrast proves it's not Joe Biden.
What happened last night?
Goodness. Apologies. I have that next clip queued up for you. It's not Joe Biden who's causing this. It is MAGA Republicans and things that have gotten so out of control in the last few years. You have to point to the impact of Trumpism and MAGA. Because again, their ability to wield power looks something like what we saw last night. Democrats wielding of power looks something like the first 2 years of Biden's presidency, when historic policies, one of the most effective legislative sessions we'd seen in some time. Here's Jared Moskowitz having a more reasonable take on last night's bonkers hearing on CNN.
Well, I mean, it was oversight after dark, oversight unplugged. We're a little bit better at 11 in the morning, but at 8 p.m., I guess just we can't. All hell breaks loose. I mean, listen, why the hearing was moved. They moved the hearing so members could go to New York and snuggle with Donald Trump in the courtroom to keep him warm, because he's very chilly in the courtroom. They're keeping it cold on purpose. And so they literally moved this hearing to hold Merrick Garland in contempt for what? They turned over the transcript, which is what they asked for. They turned over all the corresponding documents for what they asked for. Robert Hur, the special prosecutor, came here, testified. He said there was no interference from DOJ or Merrick Garland. And now they want an audio tape, which they know, by the way, is against DOJ policy. We're still waiting for the audio tape from Dick Cheney in the Valerie Plame case, because the DOJ doesn't release audio tapes. Okay, and this is just a distraction from their failed impeachment of Joe Biden, which isn't going to happen. But look, Marjorie Taylor Greene, missed motion to vacate. How's that going, Marge, if you're watching? I mean, she's just here, obviously, to do this stuff. She's raised his money off of it. This is why gerrymandering is bad. If you want to know why gerrymandering is bad, just watch last night. She's the most unproductive member of Congress. We wouldn't let her name a post office. She has no friends here. And to go and attack Jasmine Crockett like that is totally out of order, was uncalled for, but she does it on purpose.
And nicely summing it up there.
What happened last night?
Jared Moskowitz. And just to remind you, yes, Democrats participated in the insult game. They participated in mocking the absurdity of this hearing. If I hear or read one person in my comments trying to make some false equivalency, well, they both were blah, 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 blah. I won't stand for it. I would never delete a comment, so that can't be my response. But I will be angry. So you can just be shuddering in your boots right now that I'll be angry if you try to make such a false equivalency. And the only recourse for Democrats whenever Republicans make, like I said previously, such a joke out of the House is to make a joke out of these Republicans. Let me know what you thought of all that in the comments. You can watch Boom, the Marjorie Taylor Greene focused segment about this hearing by clicking there, and the Lauren Boebert, where she was struggling to coherently speak, focus of that segment by clicking there. And I'll give you a few seconds to choose. Which one do you want? Again, let me know what you thought of all that in the comments.